Hey everyone, this is Kieran from MSK Physio. Today's exercise is about starting to progress some of the difficulty or intensity for the muscles for the back of our neck. So these guys back in here. So if you feel like you've been working through those prone progressions and you're feeling like, yep, I got a handle on those, I'm looking for something to be a little more challenging, then this would be a nice exercise for you to start trying out. Interested, I guess, in some of the rationale behind why we progress onto the hands and knees. There's a little more chat about that in the video that focuses on the quadruped, but the flexors or the muscles at the front of the neck. Have a watch of that if you're interested, but just a short little bit to give some context. By moving onto the hands and knees, then we're just increasing the complexity of what we have to talk about. There's more things going on, there's less feedback. I'm only feeling through my hands and my knees and my feet, as opposed to my whole torso being on the ground. So there's a little bit more about me figuring out where I am in space, and which means that there's an increased chance of co-contraction of the whole body. And that's the whole benefit of these exercises, is you'll learn what co-contraction is necessary and what's not, and you'll kind of, as you go through it and learn, you'll sift through and subconsciously sort of build some better patterns. As always, it's good to have some external things to focus on. So have something in front of you that you can run your eyes along. You want to sort of something you can finish on or something to start on, so there's some consistency there, or at least you know that, oh, I can actually look further, therefore I'm extending more. It's nice to have something in front of the chest, because a lot of these neck extensors go down into the thoracic spine, depending on what we're trying to focus on though, right? So I might want to block the chest and limit movement around the collar of my shirt so that I can focus more on the head extending on the spine. Or I might want to increase some of the thoracic extension so that I can kick in the ones that help move the neck and thoracic spine. It just depends what your focus is. So let's start with more the spinal one. So I'm going to bring the ball here, have something that you can reach your chest onto. So I'm like this, and hands are here just for a bit of support. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to look forward and up. And as I do that, I'm going to try and squish the ball with my chest. But the focus here is that I'm trying to look as high as I can, so that I'm working out these muscles in here. I'm going to come back down to the start and look at the ground. And look up, and then look down, and look up, look down. Now, if something like this is too far away for you, you can always raise it up a little bit and get it a little bit closer to your chest. So I'm here, and then having a look high as I can, and coming back down. Now the difference, if I wanted to go for the head on the neck, I want to limit the thoracic extension or the bending back here. I want to limit this movement so that I can focus on more the neck range. And so the difference with this cue is that I'm going to try to not squish the yoga blocks. So I'm going to try and not let my chest touch the yoga blocks as my head goes forward. And I'm thinking about my chin, trying to touch the door in front of me. Or I can just focus on trying to look at the same level every time, but try not to come down onto the yoga blocks. As always, make sure you can still breathe and swallow at the same time that you're doing these exercises. Reason being for that, it's a good cue for any exercise, but if you're losing the ability to swallow comfortably, or you feel like you can't get as big of a breath in, then you know that you're probably at your max capacity or threshold. We know that at that point there's more greater co-contraction, but at higher levels, so there's reduced movement and more rigidity. So what we want to try and do is limit that a little bit, because we do want a dissociation in that I can move my head independently, and at the same time, whatever direction I move it, I can still swallow or speak at the same time. Just because these are low-level activities for neck movement. We're not looking at creating a max, 1 rep max deadlift here. That's a different situation. So just keep that in mind. And the cue there would be to try less and less hard the more you do it. You may not feel as much fatigue on the back of the neck with this if you've progressed from the prone one on the ground. This is more about complexity, adding more variables, than it is about increasing load, because the load hasn't changed a lot in terms of weight. Our head is still there. So give this a go and try and work through these progressions at a reasonable pace. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.